this is about roomie, so I will bring up roomie.
Yeah.
So I was sleeping, like I fell asleep on my roomie's bed, right? Because my bed, I forgot to change the sheets, and I was too lazy to basically change my own sheets. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna take a nap here. But then like I end up just like going full on like, right? And my roomie being nice let me. So then like she was like sleeping beside me, and then apparently I started like sleep talking.
Damn.
And I know I would like sleep talk sometimes, but you know how sometimes I'm like, oh my god, like you know in those like movies where it's like, oh my god, like she sleep talks, and the sleep talk is like, Enna or something like that. You know what I mean?
God, yeah.
Like it's cute. I don't do that. Like my sleep talking is more like a sleep yell. Like I would sleep and suddenly it's like, ah! I had a dream that I was on a roller coaster or something like that, and then I was trying my best to act cool. So then like I try to like not yell, but in reality I yelled like in my sleep. And then in my dream, a massive like bird just like slapped the shit out of my face. Like basically like slammed into my face. Right? And then I was just like, oh my god, right? In my dream. And then like it stung so bad, and like I grew like a massive like wound on my face or something. And then like apparently the next day my roomie told me, it's like, you know, last night like I was going to bed and suddenly you yelled so loud, I got so pissed and I slapped the shit out of you.
Oh shit, that's so funny.
I was like, oh
damn, you're creative.
so it was you.
Real time?
You the bird.
Oh my god, you actually like your brain is so powerful that like in real time it created a scenario to match what was happening in real time in real life.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's funny. That's funny.
Like there's like my roomie has a video of like years ago where we were on like this trip thing, and apparently like when I sleep talk I would respond sometimes, and then like I was sleep talking about something, and then they're like, Mika, show us your hands, and then like instinctively I would like lift my hands up. And they're like, how many hours have you slept? And then I just like pulled out like any random fingers, and they would like have a full-on conversation with me, and I was just like dead asleep.
Damn.
Like
Your brain's too big.
I don't know.
My roommate like kind of does the same thing. I don't know. Like I don't know if this is common though. Like I guess it's because you're like subconsciously still kind of awake, but then you're also like asleep too. Cause like when my roommate asks me to wake her up, she'll never like wake up like immediately. She has to like do it gradually. But when she wakes up during that period where she's waking up gradually, is when she's still like not actually completely present in like real life. So that's when I asked her, like one time I was like, hey, it's time to wake up, and she looked at me like she didn't like know who the fuck I was, and I was like, what's my name? And you know what the fuck she was like, Jessica? She legit looked at me and she was like, Jessica? And I was like, who the fuck is Jessica? And like I started pulling out my phone so I could like capture this. I was like, okay, what is the last thing you remember doing? And she was like, stop, I have to do my meeting soon. And I was like, bro, it's like 9 p.m. and like you left work at like 5 p.m. It's so weird because she's looking at me and she looks like she was awake, but she wasn't. And it was so fucking weird. And then she started to finally like wake up. And then I was like, dude, you just called me Jessica. And she's like, who's Jessica? So I'm like, what the fuck is happening? So every time like my roommate asks me to like wake her up for something, I'll always like, it doesn't happen often, but like I'll always try to catch her like in that period where she's literally in between the subconscious and conscious. It's so fucking funny.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
are you my roommate? She does the same to me.
Yeah.
I fucking hate you. Sometimes I would yell like something super creepy. Like the creepiest thing that I remember my roommate telling me was like 4 a.m. I usually like to sleep in the living room back then because it has more ventilation. So then I sleep like on the couch, right? And then like sometimes she would still be awake or like doing something at that time. And then I just like I sit up, like eyes wide open, and I don't remember this. Like I sit up, eyes wide open, I'm just like, someone's outside, and then I go back to bed.
That's so fucking creepy, Mika.
I know, I'm sorry. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, that's fucking. If my roommate did that, I'd like start like I'd like open all the fucking lights and just sleep in the daytime. What the fuck?
I'm so sorry.
Yo, but like
I thought
actually,
about that,
that,
though.
that like reminds me of something really similar. You know, Millie and I, like we've been friends for a long time, right? Before the Millie story, there's actually another good friend of mine. Like many years ago, I think she came over and slept over, and I remember her telling me in the like I passed out because every time I hang out with people, like I just get exhausted and I just pass out, which is great. But I don't remember anything when I pass out. So I remember that friend telling me that in the middle of the night I like sat up, but the way that I sat up wasn't like, you know how when you sit up you kind of like use your hands to kind of push you up, but like for me,
yeah.
and I don't like work out or anything, okay? But for me, she was like, you sat up, but you sat up without using your hands. So you were just like completely sat up, super straight, like 90 degrees, all of a sudden, and then you looked at me, and then you went back to sleep. That was the first time like anybody's ever told me I've done that. And then fast forward a few years later with Millie, we went like on a trip somewhere, and we shared an Airbnb, so we shared this bed, right? Millie was like, Millie woke up in the middle of the night because I think she might have had food poisoning that day. So she like woke up and she like threw up and all this while I was like having a really nice sleep. And then when she came back into the room, she saw that I was sitting up. And then she looked at me, she's like, oh, Babu, I just threw up. And she said that I looked at her and I didn't say anything. And I was just looking at her for like a good minute until I like went back to sleep. But she said that like when I sat up I didn't use my hands, and I was just like, oh shit, that's happened before. So like after that, when I went home, I got this like video camera to like film me all night just to see like what the fuck is happening. Like, do I do this every day? Or but like I was filming it for like, I don't know, like at least 3 nights and nothing happened. So I'm like wondering what's happened. Like every time I sleep with friends, it seems to be like very reoccurring pattern. So maybe I just don't want to share a bed or something, because that's kind of creepy. I don't know. I feel possessed.
Dude, I've done like the same thing. Like I've recorded myself sleep for like a week because I was like, do I actually sleep talk? And like in the video, nothing happened. No,
Yeah,
like
it's always
it
other
didn't
people
happen.
catching us.
Like, okay, I've only had like an Airbnb experience like twice, right? And this one time it was like me, my roomie, and like her family, right? But like the way it's like room is like her parents were like in one room and me and my roomie shared like a room together. It's like those kind of like apartment with rooms in them. I don't know how to explain it, right? But there's like this one spare room because like I don't really know, like that's what the
Like
parents
a-
got,
Like a
because I
guest
think
room?
like they thought we're gonna like, yeah, like it's like a 3-bedroom apartment Airbnb, right? But then like me and my roomie decided to be like, oh, let's just like share a room because like besties or whatever, right? So then like we were in the same room, and then like during that time like the doors were open, and I think I was like fast asleep at like 10 p.m. because I had jet lag, right? So I was like fast asleep already at like 8 p.m. and it was like 11 or something. So the rooms were still open, like the family was still outside. And then my roomie's family was talking to her like, hey, like do you want to, like, we have like a 3-bedroom, like you can sleep in the other bed. And then like they were talking like, should we not, stuff like that. And then apparently like again, like I sat up, right? And like I just like looked out of the door, and my roomie's like, oh, like Mika, like do you want to have like the room to yourself or something like that? And then I was just like I forgot what like they were saying, and then I was quiet, right? So I was like, oh, Mika's probably like asleep. Like she does this sometimes where she'd sit up and like stare at people sometimes.
Oh my god.
And
like me.
my like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, dude, relatable. Like the parents are like, oh yeah, because I used to live with them, but like it's not like they would check in to like my room, right? So they don't really like see that happen. But because my roomie said it like so casually, the parents are like, whatever. So they went back to like their conversation, and apparently like before I went like back like down, I just said like they were asking something about the other room, and I said like, don't go, and then I just went to bed. And then they just like freaked it, dude. Like,
Because you actually like talk like, don't
I
go.
talk. I am a sleep talker.
Damn.
Like I would,
That's fucking creepy.
but I don't think I even know what their conversation was. It was something to do with my like dream about something. Like in my dream, I'm probably like, no, don't go. But like the way I said, it was like, don't go.
Don't
And I just go to bed. Honestly, wholesome story though. Like once I ever woke up half awake or like sleep talking because I don't really, most of the time I don't remember what happens. And then like it was like my roommate was there and I was sick. I remember that I had a fever and my roommate was like taking care of me, right? And then I sat up and I'm like, I love you, and I went to bed.
Aw, that's so wholesome.
I don't remember that.
No, I never had those moments with my roommate. What the fuck? That's so.
My roommate made fun of me for it. It's like,
But that's so
"Roommate,
sweet.
I love you," and I'm like, no, never existed. The fuck are you on?
On the lonely rail 私ついていくよどんな辛い世界の闇の中で